abuses power.
Ghislaine Maxwell was represented by the same law firm as John Ramsey, Haddon, Morgan, and Foreman. Now, why would a British socialite be represented by a Denver firm? Ghislaine Maxwell was in the United States June of '95, also March of '97. This at least partially aligns JonBenét's death or possible disappearance disguised as death. Now, if you're not familiar with Ghislaine Maxwell, she was basically a pimp for Jeffrey Epstein for many, many years. In August of last year, 2,000 pages of court documents relating to Epstein failed to redact one of Maxwell's email addresses. Those documents also accused Maxwell of procuring underage girls for Epstein. The Ramsey household had many dark secrets. Did you know that JonBenet was taken to her pediatrician 33 times in the 3 years before her death? The reason was for yeast infections. Let that sink in. A little girl age 6 is taken to a pediatrician 33 times for gynecological exams. Now remember that in JonBenét's autopsy, the coroner found her vaginal opening 2 times the size of a normal 6-year-old's, plus evidence of repeated sexual trauma. This pediatrician was at the house the morning of JonBenét's disappearance and was one of the first people the Ramseys called over. Now back to the autopsy. 2 stun gun marks were found on JonBenét's body, and where it gets weird is a copy of the military film How to Create a Mind Control Slave Using a Stun Gun was found in the Ramseys' office, to be exact. Stun guns have been used during ritualistic abuse as a form of mind control. Just 2 weeks prior to her death on Christmas evening, JonBenet began to talk about people in long black robes who gathered around her. She also spoke vaguely of darkness around her and the possible use of candles. Now guess which A-list celebrity has a direct connection to the death of JonBenet? On the night of Christmas, 1996, the Ramseys attended a party at the home of a close friend. It wasn't your average Christmas party. It was a satanic ritual sacrifice, and Nicole Kidman was present. And for those of you who don't know who Nicole Kidman's father was, Anthony Kidman was an Australian psychologist, biochemist, and academic. He was also at the epicenter of an explosive allegation of pedophilia and ritualistic child sex abuse amongst Australia's reigning social academic life. He died amidst the child abuse allegations. For those of you who don't know the real facts about Christmas, I'm about to shed some shit on you real quick. Saturnalia, an ancient Roman festival of Saturn, the Roman god of time and of the harvest. He was the cruelest, most evil of all pagan gods who demanded child sacrifice. So now that we've had a primer on Satanism and Saturnalia, ritualistic child sacrifice and Christmas, let's head back to Colorado in the mid-1990s. Both Denver and Boulder, Colorado were and are major satanic centers whose activities have been under investigation by the FBI and several others for many years. After JonBenet's death, her parents hired criminal defense attorneys with the same law firm of Haddon, Morgan, and Foreman. What do you know? Surprise, surprise, right? This firm had local, professional, political, and personal ties to local legal and judicial communities, legislates, and high-ranking members of the Colorado government. Even popular celebrities who were clearly guilty of rape. John Andrew Ramsey, JonBenet's half-brother. He was attending the University of Boulder and also living at the Ramsey home at the same time of her death. Her half-sister, Elizabeth Ramsey, she died in a suspicious car accident not long after accusing her own father, John, of satanic ritual abuse. Now let's go back to JonBenet's father, John Ramsey, the father of not one but 2 deceased daughters, both of whom died under tragic and bizarre circumstances, and both of whom were victims of sex abuse. Early in the case, detectives probed John Ramsey's many visits to Amsterdam, the child porn capital of the world. JonBenet's father dated Natalie Holloway's mother, Beth. Can you connect the dots here? In 2007, Patsy Ramsey succumbed to ovarian cancer the previous year. She died at her father's house, with John by her side. John is inexplicably dating the mother of then-missing, now-deceased, teenage beauty Natalie Holloway. That's Beth. Why is it everyone who is involved with John Ramsey and has daughters, they all end up dead? Suspecting a link between child porn and JonBenét's murder, detectives did a sweep of machines related to the Ramseys and found child porn on several company computers. In fact, a considerable amount of kiddie porn had been downloaded onto the company's computers owned by Access Graphics. John Ramsey's company, Access Graphics, was working with the Department of Defense, Lockheed, Unisys, and the University of Boulder, Colorado on highly secretive technology used to process satellite imagery. Now that was a cover-up. The real technology involved was encrypting child pornography. Let's take a moment to dissect the symbolism surrounding John's career and family life. Let's start with the Lockheed logo Eastern Star. Patsy, John's second wife, married in 1977 and lived just north of Atlanta. Patsy's family were members of the Masonic Fellowship in West Virginia. Patsy's mom, Nidra, was a member of the Order of the Eastern Star. And please make a note of Patsy's near obsession with the Masonic checkerboard pattern was evident in how she decorated her home and how she presented her daughter in the beauty pageant circuit. If you're unfamiliar with Masonic symbology, you're not alone, but once you see it, you will never unsee it. This is Nidra Paul, Patsy's mother with her grandchildren and daughter. Note the name and date of the photograph. The salute looks more like a funeral than a portrait. 96, the same year JonBenet is snuffed out. Again, this looks more like a funeral than a portrait. Burke Ramsey was born in 1987, JonBenet on August 6th of 1990. The ransom note was an 82% match to Patsy's handwriting, according to the CBI and handwriting experts. Out of the 74 names submitted for testing, Patsy's handwriting was the only one to set off alarm bells. And what drives me crazy is detectives also found an entire draft of the note in the Ramsey home. One particularly interesting feature of the Ramsey house was the checkerboard floor leading to the kitchen from the back stairwell, where Patsy claims to have found the infamous handwritten ransom note, and then frantically called the police, putting this entire thing into motion. On December 26, 1996, 6-year-old JonBenet Ramsey was reported missing. Now, if you connect the dots, you will get 666. Their symbolism will be their downfall.